Good evening, everybody. We have a Stark versus Greyjoy matchup here. So yep, hopefully, as always, hopefully I am live. If I'm not live, send me a message, because technology is hard. Alright, assuming I am live then, let's dig into this match. So we have Harrison Anderson against MrHardie, Greyjoy the Reign of Castamere versus Stark Banner of the Lion. Now Harrison plays a lot of Drowned God, and we see that from his setup. Both players kept their hand. They're happy with their opening 7 cards, and I can see why. So Harrison has the Iron Gate, Old Wick, the Drowned Disciple, and the Drowned Prophet. So that's pretty good. Having the Drowned Disciple on the board at the start means that every time someone comes into play from the dead pile, some power is going to be gained. Prophet also helps to dig for those character cards. Can dig for another Disciple or a Vince, probably the most popular one. Connor setup's really good as well. Harren Hall, reduce the location of the Hound, and reduce the Tub. Play trading with the Pentosian to Summer Harvest. So I don't think either player will have any cause to complain about their economy issues, or they can't really complain about their draw either. They both kept their opening hand, so they must be reasonably happy that their opening hand can give them a good start in the game. That's my view of it anyway. So we've got Ramsay coming out, getting rid of the Drowned Prophet, which is good. There's no Nagga's Ribs at the moment. That's good for Stark. No Nagga's Ribs. Although Ramsay is cancelled. Oh, we had a double Ramsay. Wow. That's bold. Straight out the gate. Going for a board wipe. So despite that, it looks like Harrison could get some good board present. 14 gold. It does look like that Drowned God's Fanatic is going to be quite a tempo hit for the Stark. And that's just my opinion. So see, Harrison got 3 strength in intrigue. It's not enough to trigger the Reign of Castamere at the moment, but 5 gold kept in hand. There's nothing in shadows. I don't think the Drowned God has that many tricks that can cost 5 gold. Connor had the Harren Hall, which is going to be in play. Northern Armory, maybe. It depends if there is a Roost in hand. So for example, Roost could be important. Is the Harren Hall for him? I guess we'll see. Didn't bother doing the military Ramsay. Of course, the green icon is fine. So we do have Nagga's Ribs on the Harrison side, so any dead character now is going to be feeding into the dominance. And of course, we also expect the Acolyte of the Wave is the first character to be taken for claim. But if this happens, if a military does happen, Harrison will gain a power for that, plus 2 strength for dominant, and a card from Air and Damp Hair. So I'm not sure how appealing that is. Furthermore, when Harrison does a challenge back, he can then bring back that character, probably to hand if he goes all in with Old Wick. So no more challenges from Connor, so there's no root or anything in hand, nothing worth hand hauling. So the hand is already depleted. Nothing worth using the Northern Armory on at the moment either. Doesn't defend the intrigue. The Aaron Damhair will gain insight. So Harrenhal duplicate taken for intrigue claim. That's a good decision, keeping it in hand for intrigue claim soak, protecting the other 3 cards, which may or may not be good. The power for 1. So interesting what Connor will use here, whether he will oppose with the Hound, bring the Hound back to hand. He does not. He just stops the unopposed. And Harrison takes Dom with all that gold. The Greyjoy 3-0 up after the first round. I do think Greyjoy had the edge right now. Got the important pieces out. Naga's ribs, a little bit of econ. Maybe that's the only thing you would say to short of in the longer game. The economy. Marched into heads on spikes. Nice plot choice from Harrison. Bolton Flayer. Well, you can understand Connor's reluctant to Harrenhal the Bolton Flayer with 2 1-cost chuds in hand. Ramsay's getting marched. Don't tell me he got the 3rd Ramsay, because otherwise you just march a chud, right? So okay, so I guess we're getting the 3rd Ramsay. Question is, does he Ramsay now, or does he play a reset and then Ramsay? There aren't any obvious saves for Harrison, but you always assume they got at least 1 risen from the sea. The Connor has economy here, he can probably play out whatever he likes. And we do have the 3rd Ramsay. Remarkable. Of course, the only problem with Ramsay now is that Naga's ribs can put them in the dead pile. Frozen solid, yeah, maybe that should have came first, but not sure if it will matter that much for this round. Of course, we're going to get Old Wick Fire, I imagine. So Harrison will win the power challenge. Excuse me. No, I'm just going to blow my nose. Hold on. Sorry about that. Right, so yeah, Harrison first with the power challenge. As we expected, Drowned Disciple gives Damhair a power. They for strength 6, defend for strength 1. So yeah, this is interesting. I wonder if it might have been better for Connor to defend with the Hound and the Chud. Win the power challenge, maybe forced to bring the Hound back to hand. But we have Harrenhal. Maybe he was afraid of some trick. There's that Drowned God event where you increase the strength by 3 in the challenge. Can't remember what it's called, but it got some really interesting art. Oh. this is a good play. A strong play. Reek was a very important part of my game yesterday against Dagger, and it is a card that catches people out consistently. So interesting. Yeah, this is good. So he's defended completely. Stood Ramsay because Reek can still trigger from Ramsay winning a challenge. And Reek going to die at the end of this phase, so it makes sense. So what do you Reek for? Maester Kerwin. You Reek, maybe take Kerwin, kill off the Drowned God character, or do you do something else? Let's see. So he takes the Drowned Disciple. So does that work? Yeah, so only Ghost of Harrenhal. So if Harrison's playing Ghost of Harrenhal, Connor can gain a power. So Reek, as he's dying anyway, proper dies. And we have the power challenge coming through from Connor, which is opposed. Yeah, I might have been tempted to take Maester Kerwin, because not only was Kerwin a standing character, Kerwin had the ability to save Aaron Damphair. So if there is some sort of reset triggered now, Harrison comes out with a character, potentially with the ability to rain that of Valar Morghulis. And Connor has only 2 cards in hand and he will have an empty board. But of course Harrison doesn't have any econ on the board, so any Valar Morghulis from him is extremely risky. There's no guarantee that he'll be able to keep Damphair alive through a challenge phase. So both players going in for a little bit of money. Late Summer Feast against the Close Call. Harrison's got plenty of cards that he wants to play out now. Late Summer Feast may normally signal a tile turn, or certainly a turn where you're confident of getting the Reigns trigger so you can flip out of the plot. Connor probably digging for more cards. Maybe he does have another Reek. But out of the 2 cards, yeah, definitely the unique that you're probably running 3 of. Alright, so we've got Grey Wind attached to Ramsay and nothing else. We know she has the Hound in hand. So we have Grey Wind. So that's going to be a one-off counter, which would be nice for the Kerwin. I don't know if he will trigger on the power gaining aspect at this stage. Right, a Drowned God Apostle. We have King's Road as well, and another Drowned Prophet. 2 Drowned Prophets. Yeah, playing cards quite simply. Going to be hard for Connor to attrition this down, especially without a Bolton Flayer. But we do have a Roos. So this could essentially be 3 claim military, but Kerwin can take the sting out of this by saving one of them. So it will only be 2 claim. So I'm guessing Roos here tries to kill the 2 prophets. Kerwin maybe keep one alive. I don't know whether he'd even bother, whether he'd just trigger the 2. Okay, so yeah, Kerwin's going to sack himself to save Aaron. That seems sensible. And this is why Grey Wind was played. So now we see if there's a rhythm from the sea. There is a rhythm from the sea. And a prophet dies to claim. That could have been more successful for Stark. You can see how painful that could have been. Very difficult to kill off Greyjoy characters at times. Aaron Damphair keeping the hand buoyed with cards. That's Operation Kneel your characters, see if you can draw cards yourself. So if Harrison wins this challenge, Connor will draw a card, which is what this is designed to do. And does he do the intrigue with Ramsay? I think he might as well. There's not going to be a military challenge to oppose. He's not going to win an intrigue challenge. So maybe I would have done the intrigue with Ramsay. But hardly game winning. We'll see here if he really wants to trigger the reins. He doesn't really want to trigger reins, which I think is interesting if so. I mean, there's no guarantee he could. I don't think he's got any strength pumps at all. So I'm not sure I would have been scared of a reins trigger. What are the general reign plots now? A Game of Thrones, Pointy End, Filthy Accusation. None of them are especially terrifying. Power totals are fairly even. Coming into the end of round 3. 5-5. It feels like Greyjoy has most of the control to me, despite Stark's repeated attempt to attack the board. We've seen 3 Ramsays, 1 Ruse, 1 Reek. 1 player dead for heads on spikes. And now we have generous gold giving plot from both players again. The Harrison choosing Connor to be fair. You want to see what Connor's going to play out onto the board. You always feel like playing Roose is dangerous against Greyjoy these days. One Drowned God fanatic can scupper your plan, Rhythm from the Sea can scupper your plan, like we just seen Mr. Kerwin, so it's important to have the Grey Wind. Frozen Solid for Old Wick. I mean, Frozen Solid's a fantastic card against Drowned God. Can really slow them down. I mean, having Naga's Ribs, meaning that any discarded characters cannot go into the dead pile, seems very strong against Drowned God. What else does he have? He's got plenty of cards, plenty of choices now. So a Skagoth. Now I believe the other 2 Ramsays are in the discard pile. They are, along with the Ruth and Reek. Ill in Pain. Crikey. That Ill in Pain is going to be pressure. I hope they respect the action windows here. They should probably, Connor should probably open a dialogue. Because we've seen it before where the players, they just skip through marshalling. So this is where I would be using Ill in Pain to chop a dude. but there's no chopping. So ill and pain is martial for the body. Yep, Iron Throne naming the hound. Very solid. Yeah, the Winterfell Steward doing a 1 drink power challenge doesn't really make a great deal of difference. I mean, if you're Connor now, you can do an intrigue with Ramsay or military with Ramsay. It'd be interesting to see which one he goes for. Keeps up the military pressure then. If you're going to do a military, maybe that would have been better first to reduce the number of defenders, because if you killed the Prophet, I mean, probably going to kill Acolyte of the Waves. But still, Acolyte of the Waves is now standing to attack back. Yep, the Prophet is dying. Damphair draws a card. Prophet puts a drowned god apostle in the dead pile. I wonder if Harrison is running some attachment control, whether there is a confiscation in the plot deck. Not convinced there is, but there may be. Alright, Connor has finished his challenges. No intrigue challenge from Connor. Of course, Harrison knowing that Connor has the hound in hand is fairly painful when Harrison has the Iron Throne out. We'll see if next round he named it in the marshalling phase. If he doesn't, Connor will straight up marshal the hound, because it still reduces the Hound Hall usage in the challenge phase. So, intrigue for 4, going unopposed. A little range threat. So unopposed loses a card, and Harrison gained a card for insight. So Harrison doing very well at keeping his hand nice and full, giving himself a lot of options for the next round. Grey Wind gone for claim. Power for 4. That means this can be blocked. This should be blocked. It is blocked. And we have a tie for Dom. Of course, Winterfell Festival cannot be taken because there is a summer plot. So barring any more movement, it's a tie for Dom. And it's 6-6 end of this round. So still very finely poised. Connor has the ill and pain threat of killing any drowned disciple that comes out on Harrison's side of the board. That will really slow down the power gain of the drowned god deck. The problem is if Harrison keeps playing money, gets Tal, plays the disciple, resurrects the disciple, it dies, resurrects it again. You know, because it's the reaction, so the power will still keep coming. So Valar into return to the fields. Yeah, quite frankly, a really good return to the fields. Excellent prediction there. So he lets the drowned disciple die to Valar, which means it's going to go in the dead pile, which means it can be brought back by a Tal, which I'm not sure is ideal. Maybe it would have been better to sacrifice that and let the Chud die. I don't know. answers on a postcard. So we have the second Risen from the Sea for the damp hair. Alright, let's see if Harrison decided to name the hound in the marshalling phase or whether he saved that. So he saves it for the challenge phase, so you know the hound is much more likely to arrive now. No save. Ah, yeah. Wow. That would have been handy in the past couple of rounds. Is he going to marshal the hound? He is. And a last half. Again, quite a few of these cards would have been useful when he had the ruse. If he has a Harrenhal card that can come into play, then Connor could be in a strong position here. So no doubt Harrison's going to use some of that economy to pad out the board, otherwise damp hair is toast. Connor could be sitting on Winter is Coming, which could be devastating. Oh, it could be really devastating. But Winter is Coming is going to be named here by the Iron Throne. So that won't be a problem. It does work on events, right? Yep. He named Reek. Wow. I mean, I would be very scared of the threat of Winter is Coming. It looks like Connor's in a very strong position now. Well, this looks like it's going to be a board wipe without the Winter is Coming, so I guess even if you had named Winter is Coming, it doesn't stop. The only hope for Harrison is that he has the Drowned Gods Fanatic, which is feasible. He's seen half his deck, he's seen one of them, and he hasn't seen the second. So it's quite often that games hinge on very important moments like this one. You know, have you seen the second card out of your 60 card deck when you've gone through half your deck? It's a coin toss at times. It's just variance. Had Harrison seen his second Drowned God Fanatic? And he's had some search for it with the Prophet. Had he seen that, Ruth sacrificed him for no reason, and then there's just one claim. So Val-Arya doing a lot of work. Connor's now significantly in the lead. So he's gone from 6-6 to 11-6. So I think it's fair to say Valar Morghulis has worked against Harrison significantly. You can see why he played it. Wipe Connor's board, save the damp hair, but the risk is when you play against decks that have Harrenhal and jumper cards, and playing against Roose and Ramsay, you know it's a risk. You know it's a risk when you make the board small again. So Connor going first in the face of 2 claim. He played his Valar Dohaeris, which is now irrelevant for at least the next round. Harrison gone in with his 2 claim plot. Maybe for the 2 claim, maybe for the gold. Harrison's going to have 9 gold of resources in which to put some board out. But Connor's now, he's going first. He has the advantage. He got Val-Arya, he got Harrenhal. And now he's bringing some characters back. Alright, is he just going to play out Reek here? Because if you keep Reek in hand, Harrison knows what to name. Well, what does he? We know there's a hound actually still in hand. Right, there's the hound. Yes, I think Harrison's in a difficult position now, because even if he names Reek with the Iron Throne, the Hound can come in and out of play. Okay, this is good. Perfect timing for Harrison. But he's only got 4 gold. I mean, here we go. Drowned Disciple. Now you can marshal 2 chuds and you've got a 4 character board. Especially 2 chud that can die for power. But no, he goes for the potential range trigger. Very nice. Not convinced he would try and range out his 2 claim plot. So Reek, he doesn't want the Reek to happen, so I guess it's double Hound. We've already seen 3 Ramses, 2 Bruce Bolton, 1 Reek and a Dead Flayer from the Bolton suite. I mean, Connor hasn't even drawn half his deck yet, so the likelihood that he got another route is very low. Flayers wouldn't do any work for him. Drowned Disciple dies. So Harrison keeping his rain triggers alive. So if you want to trigger rain, what plot are you looking to go into? Bearing in mind you would be raining out of 2 claim. Or maybe he just really values the 2 claim intrigue and then 2 claim power. Can Harrison afford to lose this power challenge? Because the Hound can't win it, because last half. Oh, does that work on Stark only? I believe it does. It does. So the Hound cannot win this challenge if Harrison double defends, unless there is some event I have forgotten about, or like a Widow's Wail in hand or something like that, which isn't out of the realm of the possibility, considering Connor is playing Roost. Harrison considering his option. This game can still go into the wire. Drown God can be really fast in racking up the power. I think this is the right choice. You can't really defend with 1 because the Hound comes back to hand, and then he comes back out with Hound Hall to defend any power challenge coming back. And even if you do defend with 1, your own range trigger isn't likely either. So defending with both is the correct choice in my opinion. Connor wins dominance. And it's 13-8. Could be the last round here. Yeesh. So the first snow of winter, which is going to completely wreck Connor's board. Whereas Harrison will keep a character. Seems less than ideal. But of course the other thing it does mean is that Tal will be marshalling non-unique Drown God characters. That's going to be the 4 cost one. Drown God Apostle, he has 2 of them. Can only afford 1 at the moment, but surely 1's enough. So excellent choice. That means Summer can now be saved, Aya can now be saved, and there is some kind of board present. And the Hound will also be saved. So now that plot choice looks excellent. So it's gone from being, oh my god, what are you doing, to, oh my god, what are you doing? So the Drowned God Apostle will almost certainly be marshalled unless Harrison has a better option in hand. It's going to die. Rick will likely be named with the Iron Throne to stop him coming into play. So we'll see if Connor has another option here. These no 2 Hearttree Groves, and we've got Skagoth. Interesting. Isn't Skagoth in shadows? Okay. Well, he can get a double summer trigger if he doesn't do a military with summer, if he decides to go with the Hound. Whether that will be impactful, I don't know, but he can get Arya back. In terms of, you know, the no save one. And then he can Skagoth Arya again next round if he's worried about that. So we have the expected marshalling of the Drowned God Apostle from Harrison. So it would seem the expected play, if Harrison has nothing else, he must marshal the Cudgel. Oh, that is... He's digging for cards here, but is that the right play? There we go. Yeah, so my query with this is when the military comes in, if he has a rhythm, then he's fine. If he doesn't, I guess the Apostle dies, moves the Cudgel to Tal, who can then defend the power challenge quite comfortably. So it can all hinge on whatever the Harrenhal trigger is. Connor's getting some lag here. That'll be the Drowned God getting into your Wi-Fi, mate. Slowing you down. So the Iron Throne names Reek. Connor in for military. So yeah, the Apostle will die. Transfer the Cudgel over to Tal, who will then become a monster. And if Connor has an intrigue icon for Harrenhal, he would win. An intrigue icon, I would say, that is not Reek. If you had a Bolton Flayer, that would win the game. Or any Lannister card, I suppose. So Tal has to block. He would trigger Bran the Builder. I don't know what you choose at this stage. It doesn't appear that Harrison has any location saving attachment control. And we do have an intrigue challenge coming in from Connor, and I think that is game. GG. It is over anyway. Congratulations, Connor. Commiseration to Harrison. Very well played game, actually. I wasn't sure that Connor was going to win at some points in the game. He kept attacking with all those challenges and then just seemed to be seemingly hitting the Drowned God brick wall. But he did it. Managed to get it with the Harrenhal Ellen Payne. So I guess that really hinges on the return to the field against the Valar Morghulis. Became extremely important. And that's that. That also means Team Stark are the victors for this week. So both Greyjoy and Stark can now waste their crappy agendas out tomorrow with much less pressure. Alright, anyway, that's it from me. I'm going now. Maybe next time Rebecca will join. Don't bank on it. But maybe she'll join, but don't bank on it. And see you later. Cheers.